Oh, really? You're a young fox.
Thank you. So, hello, Facebook. So, with this premiere of Take Back Time, the new podcast that I'm doing, I'm meeting some amazing people. Ron Klein. I can't even talk about all the accomplishments that this guy has achieved and the inventions that he's done. Such a strategic thinker, such a an incredible person as well. I've really enjoyed getting to know you over the last couple minutes that we've had a chance to chat. So, Ron, I wouldn't do you justice in talking about some of the things that you have invented. I'd love you just to introduce yourself to my Facebook group here and tell us what has meant the most to you in those accomplishments.
The ability to solve problems and provide benefits for people and give back. And I'm not the thing that's so exciting is I'm not empty yet, and I can still contribute. So that's what's important to me.
Young man, it's all up here, right?
It's all up here.
Our age is all up there. So what are some of those problems that you have solved? So some people might not be familiar with your work.
A couple of simple things. I invented the magnetic strip on the credit card, MLS for real estate, voice response for the banking industry when you get your account information back in voice. I automated the New York Stock Exchange, provided program trading, developed the bond quotation and trading system for corporate listed bonds, the treasury system. Just
the list goes on and on, right?
Right.
So what sparks some of these ideas? Like, is it a problem you're personally having that you go to solve, or does somebody come to you and say, "Ron, I have this problem"?
I'm so glad you asked that. I never classified myself as an inventor. I say I'm an innovator, because inventors sit there like this in the think tank. What am I going to invent today? I don't do that. I look at things as to if someone comes to me with a problem or a challenge, I identify that challenge. I simplify everything tremendously, and I identify what's the given that I'm working with and what is the solution we're looking for. And I don't get caught up in the minutia, the journey in between. Those things we solve along the way, because I say to be an innovator, you have to be, here's my fingers, smart, daring, and different. And when I say smart, I don't mean a PhD from Harvard. I mean, be aware. You learn something new every day. Pay attention. There's an offer from everybody that can teach you something new. And to be daring, don't be afraid to make mistakes. If you're not making mistakes, you're not learning anything.
Not learning, right.
So if you painted it the wrong color the first time, paint it a different color. The last thing that's so important, and write this down if you're listening, we don't sell ideas, we provide benefits. If you provide a benefit, now you're smart, daring, and different.
That's awesome. I love that.
Okay.
Look at that. Compact. I want to come back to simplicity for a minute. So it's you know that somebody really has a great gift when they can simplify something, right? It's easy to make things complex, and it's hard to make things simple, right? So what do you do to stay away from the minutia, from all those the noise that keeps you from being clear?
Well, first of all, we learned that in 8th grade in school when they gave us word problems. All that ancillary information that was combined and condensed in the word problem. You have to sift out what is the issue, what is the given that you have to work with, and then what do you personally want to solve, or what do you want to solve business-wise. Everything else is, like I say, the minutia and the journey. So along the way, if you hit a roadblock on the interstate, just get off and get back on at some other location.
So isn't that funny that
that's pretty simple.
If we just go back to the basics of what we learned in grade school and in our early learning process, we learned really how to keep it simple.
Exactly.
And how to break down problems and then somewhere along the line we forget.
I always say I refuse to have a battle of wits with an unarmed person. So what I want to do is, if I want to convey my idea or my concept of how to simplify or come up with a solution to a problem, I find out what it is that the other person can understand or is familiar with, that I can equate my challenge to them so that we begin communicating. And I think that's what's so important.
That's great. Well, I'm going to let you go because I know you've got plans today. Just want to ask you one question. So the theme of my new podcast coming out is Take Back Time. And it's really related about how we can think more strategically to create more time for ourselves, right? So what would your tip for the listeners be, from a strategic thinker, from, a billionaire mindset? What advice can you give or counsel can you give the group here?
Work at understanding that there's no difference between work and play. It's just how you govern your time.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Delighted.
So remember, watch the podcast. There's going to be great people like Ron Klein and other amazing business experts, leaders, entrepreneurs that I'm going to share their wisdom with you. So it's Take Back Time. Stay tuned. Bye, everyone.
Bye.